They built roads that still exist today, but the empire that conquered the world could not conquer itself. The Roman Empire, a civilization that began as a small city-state on the banks of the Tiber River, became the greatest superpower the ancient world had ever known. But its rise was as violent as its fall was inevitable. This is the story of how ambition forged an empire and how arrogance destroyed it. If you love stories of power, ambition, and downfall, hit like, subscribe, and tell us which empire should come next. Rome's story begins in legend. According to myth, twin brothers, Romulus and Remus, were raised by a she-wolf. One would kill the other and found a city that would one day rule the world. But beyond the legend was a real beginning. Around 753 BCE, when Latin tribes settled near the Seven Hills of Rome. Rome was first ruled by kings, some wise, others tyrannical. But in 509 BCE, Romans revolted against their last monarch, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, and vowed never again to be ruled by a king. They created something new, a republic with senators, magistrates, and citizens' votes. Power was divided. Ambition was checked by law. The republic became Rome's first great invention, not its army, but its system. Over the next centuries, Rome grew by war and alliances. Neighboring tribes fell or joined willingly, attracted by Roman discipline and protection. Then came the Punic Wars, Rome versus Carthage, the dominant power in North Africa. Carthage had a general whose name would echo through eternity, Hannibal. He crossed the Alps with war elephants, crushing Roman legions in battle after battle. But Rome refused to die. It adapted, learned, and eventually destroyed Carthage. When the smoke cleared in 146 BCE, Carthage was gone, and Rome ruled the Mediterranean. But victory had a price. The republic that once feared kings was becoming an empire in all but name. Success bred ambition. Generals began to see themselves as kings. None more famous than Gaius Julius Caesar. Caesar was brilliant, daring, and ruthless. In 49 BCE, he crossed the Rubicon River, defying the Senate, an act of war. His legions adored him. His enemies feared him. And when he declared himself dictator for life, the republic that had lasted nearly 500 years began to crumble. On the Ides of March, 44 BCE, the Senate struck back. Caesar was stabbed 23 times by his own allies. But instead of saving the republic, his death sealed its fate. Civil wars followed, brother against brother, senator against soldier, until one man emerged victorious. Octavian, Caesar's adopted heir. Octavian took a new name, Augustus, and in 27 BCE, he became Rome's first emperor. Under Augustus, Rome flourished. He ended decades of civil war, secured the borders, built monuments, and ushered in the Pax Romana, the Roman peace, a 200-year period of prosperity. The empire stretched from Britain to Egypt, from Spain to Syria. Roads, aqueducts, and cities spread across 3 continents. Roman law, architecture, and language united a world of 60 million people. But beneath the marble and glory, cracks were forming. Rome's strength lay in its organization. Its legions, professional, disciplined, and loyal, built and defended the empire. Its bureaucracy collected taxes, maintained roads, and enforced Roman law. But this vast machine relied on conquest. Every new province funded the next campaign. When the wars slowed, so did the wealth. Meanwhile, emperors became gods. Some wise, like Trajan and Hadrian, who built borders instead of seeking new lands. Others, like Caligula and Nero, descended into madness and excess, turning the empire into a stage for their vanity. Under Nero, Rome burned, and he blamed the Christians. Under Domitian, fear ruled the Senate. Yet the empire survived, because the system was stronger than any one man. By the 2nd century, under the philosopher King Marcus Aurelius, Rome reached its cultural and territorial height. But even as Marcus wrote his meditations about duty and virtue, plague, and war were spreading across the empire. And his death brought one of Rome's greatest mistakes: his son, Commodus, a ruler who fancied himself a gladiator. Rome's decline had begun. As centuries passed, enemies pressed on Rome's borders: Goths, Persians, Vandals. The empire grew too large to manage. In 285 CE, Emperor Diocletian divided it in two, east and west, hoping to preserve control. It worked for a time, but the Western Empire, centered in Rome, was drowning in corruption, inflation, and invasion. Constantine the Great shifted the capital eastward, founding Constantinople, today's Istanbul, and making Christianity the empire's new faith. For a moment, it seemed Rome might find salvation through the cross. But power had already moved east, leaving Rome vulnerable. In 410 CE, the unthinkable happened. Rome was sacked by the Visigoths. For centuries, Rome had been the center of the world. Now, it was just another city. The Western Empire limped on until 476 CE, when the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed. The Eternal City had fallen. But the Eastern Empire, the Byzantine Empire, survived for nearly 1,000 more years. Rome was gone, but its spirit endured. Rome's fall was not the end, it was a transformation. Its laws shaped modern justice. Its roads became Europe's trade routes. Its architecture inspired centuries of builders. Its language became the roots of Italian, French, Spanish, and more. And its lessons remain eternal. That power without balance destroys itself. That ambition without restraint consumes its empire. And that every civilization, no matter how mighty, is only as strong as the values it defends. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it fell one piece at a time. Which empire should we explore next? The Mongols, the Ottomans, or the British? Leave your answer in the comments. And do not forget to like and subscribe, because our journey through empires that shaped the world has only just begun.